Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel talking about the Buffalo Bills among other things. But today we are going to talk about the Bills. And if you saw my other videos, I'm going to go position by position of what I think the Bills will do this season as they get ready for the 2021 season. I already talked about quarterbacks and running backs, and now I'm going to talk about the Bills receivers. But before I go there, I would like for you to click that subscribe button and also smash that like button because I want to get everyone subscribed so you can see all the Bills content for this coming season. So where do we start with receivers? Well, you guessed it. We're going to start with Stefon Diggs. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. His route running is amazing. I said in a previous video that if you're a high school football player or even just a player that is starting in football and you're a receiver and you want to know how to run routes, look at Stefon Diggs. He runs those routes to a crisp. He steps his foot down and explodes. He makes other defenders really guess of what he's going to do. Is he going to run a fade? Is he going to run a hitch? What is he going to do? But he is one of the best, and he has hands of glue. 127 receptions, 1,535 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2 of those are Bills records, catches and yards. He broke Eric Mould's records for catches and yards last season. He had one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a Bills receiver. And him and Josh Allen's connection is amazing, and I think that's going to continue this season. The Bills will continue to throw him the ball, and I don't think defenders can catch him. I think he's going to have another great season this year, and the Bills should be happy about that, and he'll help guide the Bills through the playoffs. So I expect another big season out of Stefon Diggs. So who's next? We have Stefon Diggs. We have Cole Beasley, and I know Cole Beasley, I made some comments about vaccinated and unvaccinated. I'm not going to get into that, but he is a big part to the Bills' offense. In my opinion, he's one of the best slot receivers in the NFL, and a slot receiver is very important. It's probably one of the most unappreciated positions in all of football. I mean, these receivers are going over the middle. You know, they know they're going to get hit and smashed, but they still catch the ball in critical situations. And that's what Cole Beasley has done throughout his career, and especially his Bills career. He had 82 receptions, 967 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He almost got to 1,000 yards last season, and all those yards are earned. He runs his routes really well. He finds ways to get open, and when it's third down and the game is on the line, you look for him. And I think the Bills will definitely keep him this season. He's definitely too important to the Bills' offense for the Bills to just cut him based on his stance about vaccination. So I think he'll make the team and he'll have another good season. And who's next? Emmanuel Sanders. He replaces John Brown, and John Brown was cut because of financial reasons, but I was ecstatic when the Bills signed Emmanuel Sanders. He is really good. He has the speed to get open down the field, but also the speed to get open in the middle of the field. And I think he'll have success with Josh Allen this season. He does a great job at running down footballs, and he has played with a lot of great quarterbacks. Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, a lot of great quarterbacks, and I think that's going to continue this season. Last season he had 61 receptions, 726 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and so that's really good in my opinion. Those are really good stats. Not Stefon Diggs stats, of course, but I think he'll play another key role in keeping that offense going. And all of the 3 receivers I have said have made are great with hands. They catch the ball most of the time, and the same could be said with Gabe Davis. He was a rookie last year, and he played a big role in making that offense be one of the best in the NFL. His stats: 35 receptions, 599 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And not only 7 touchdowns, but a lot of those touchdowns were in critical situations. Think about that Miami game. The Bills were trailing. They needed a touchdown, and they got it from Gabriel Davis. Think about the Indianapolis Colts game. The Bills were driving down the field at the end of the first half, and they needed a touchdown or a field goal, and Gabriel Davis made 2 great toe touch grabs to keep that drive going. So he's just going to continue to improve and be one of the best receivers that the Bills have, and you hope that he gets over 1,000 yards this season and he continues on that trajectory. I think Gabriel Davis and Josh Allen have a great connection, and he'll be just as good this season. And then we have Isaiah McKenzie. I think he'll be the kickoff returner and punt returner this year. If you remember, Andre Roberts left last year for another team, for the Houston Texans. So now the Bills have Isaiah McKenzie, and I believe he'll be the kickoff and punt returner last year. And he did a great job in both. He did a great job in punt returning, especially in that second Miami game at the end of the year. He had a punt return for a touchdown. He also had 2 other touchdowns as well from Josh Allen. So he plays a good role. I always love his speed. I love watching him play. Like I said, he has great speed. He has great hands. And he's also a good red zone receiver, especially if you need a touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone. He can get to that corner and get a touchdown. So I think he'll be definitely critical to the Bills' success this season. So I've mentioned 4 receivers. I think the Bills will keep 6 receivers this season. They usually keep 6 receivers. So the last 2 I'm going to mention are interesting. So Marquise Stevenson will probably be on the practice squad this season, but he was the Bills' 5th round draft pick this season. They did pick a receiver, which I don't mind. You can have enough receivers, in my opinion. And that was an interesting pick. I think Isaiah McKenzie and Marquise Stevenson will battle for that kickoff punt returner job, and I think Isaiah McKenzie will win that job, especially if he's critical to the offense. But don't be surprised that in the next couple of years that Marquise Stevenson replaces Isaiah McKenzie, which stinks, but he will replace Isaiah McKenzie because he also has good speed. He had good speed in college. I think he'll have good speed in the NFL and will help the Bills out later on. And then the next person to keep an eye on is Isaiah Hodgins. He was a draft pick for the Bills last season, but he was injured and couldn't play last season. So, we couldn't see what he could do. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in the preseason to help his chances of making the roster. He has good hands. He made a lot of plays in college, and hopefully he will translate that to the NFL this season, but we will see. But he made plays during the Bills mini camp, so we will see if that continues in training camp. So don't be surprised if he kicks somebody off the roster for the final spot for the Bills receivers. So I have here Stefon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders, Gabe Davis, Marquise Stevenson, Isaiah Hodgins, and Isaiah McKenzie all making the roster. Although Marquise Stevenson might go on the practice squad, so we'll see. But other than that, I think the Bills have one of the best receiving corps in the NFL, and they'll again be one of the best this season. I think Stefon Diggs will have an awesome season, and I'm excited to see where that goes. So that is it. That is my predictions for the Bills wide receiver core this year. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time when we talk about the Bills offensive line. I hope you have a good day, and go Bills.